I was down, but now I'm up. Yeah, this all God, this ain't no love. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Yeah, I was down, but now.
Greetings. This is another episode of the Leverage Factor Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Charley Hames Jr., and today, leverage meet litigation, because we have one of the premier voices and icons in the legal world, in the person of attorney Carl Douglas. Many of you all know him notably, really internationally, because he was a part of the team of the OJ Simpson Trial. Today, he holds the record in many respects for two of the largest protest verdicts in Los Angeles County. I'm grateful to call him brother and friend, but more importantly, I'm glad I'm on the right side of history sitting next to him. None other than the incomparable Carl Douglas. Thank you, sir, for being with us today.
Bishop, it's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to dive right in.
Sure.
You've had a crazy decorated life. Did you see life turning out like this for you when you first started?
It's funny, brother. I have been a lawyer for 45 years.
45 years, wow.
And ever since I was 14, I wanted to be a lawyer. I went to junior high school, and I have my yearbook, and it said, "Good luck, Carl, you make a great lawyer."
Wow.
So it has always been something that was important to me. My family always allowed we kids to talk. And in junior high school, I was involved in speaking on behalf of the student body. Back then, the big thing was girls wanted to wear pants, and boys wanted their shirts outside, not to be tucked in. Those were the issues back in the 60s and the early 70s. And so that really started me using my words and my thoughts to get ahead. I was one of the smallest males in the 9th grade. So I had to talk to get along.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you went to, I think, Dorsey High School?
I did. I graduated from Dorsey High School. I grew up around Washington High School, and it's funny, I went to Dorsey High School because of the education.
Really?
Yes. In the 70s, our advanced placement AP classes were primarily Asian because there was a large Japanese contingent living in the Crenshaw district.
Really?
Around Crenshaw and 38th, 39th place on the east side of Crenshaw.
That's interesting.
So many of those students went to school at Dorsey, and it was an important time for me then, yes.
Yeah. So Dorsey, do you see Dorsey being kind of like a catapult or kind of the linchpin or the leverage that actually catapulted you into your next sphere?
You know, it's funny for me. My mother and my father were the foundation. My father was a professional writer for Bechtel. He would write reports for the public of power plants, for example, that they built, the San Onofre power plant they built. My mother was always a supervisor for Western Airlines back in the day. So they instilled in me a sense of spiritual enlightenment, a sense of purpose and discipline that has continued to stay with me even now.
So your mom and dad is really, it sounds like those are your anchors, and that kind of gave you this sense. So you go from Dorsey, you go to Northwestern.
Correct. I had never seen snow before college.
You got to be kidding.
Brother, 4 seasons are overrated. Give me 70 degrees in the dead of winter, man. I respect that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I tell friends, I became black in Chicago.
Yeah.
As you probably know, Chicago is one of the more racially polarized cities in America.
Yeah, I grew up there. I know that.
Okay, Dr. King marched all through the South, but he didn't march through Cicero.
Absolutely.
And they're proud of that.
Yeah.
So that really gave me a foundation to understand the importance that race has and the importance of people of color to fight against the injustices that I saw even then in college.
So let's just stay there, because that's super pivotal. So you grow up in Los Angeles,
Yes.
right? In many respects, it's the West Coast. It's where one of the migration lines happened for Texans and those who were part of, we will say affectionately, Louisiana. And now you go out of, quote unquote, this bubble, if you will, and then you're smack dead in the middle of the most segregated city in America.
There was an adjustment two ways. I remember, because I was used to tanned white folks.
Right.
And I had never seen so white people.
Right.
The white folks are really white here in the Midwest.
Right.
And when I was growing up in Los Angeles, there was never a time when I had seen white people talk trash to black people. I remember my first year in college, I played basketball, and in the gym, there were brothers playing with white guys, and there was a struggle, a fight. And the white guys weren't scared of the brothers. They put a brother in a headlock and do all that kind of thing. It was an adjustment. That was a new thing for me to understand the dynamics of our country, which is different than what I experienced here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So that was an adjustment, man.
Yeah. So that adjustment, did that kind of spur in you this whole, because you have to have passion around civil rights, and you have to have passion around civil rights litigation. Yes, there are some successes and some acumens come around it, but if you don't have the passion, it's hard to stay in it 45 years.
Sure.
So, because what I'm trying to get to is that I know for me, Chicago gave the appetite to be twice as good, to get half as much, even though I didn't settle for the half, right? Chicago gave me a great sense of when racism is real and when it's kind of covert, right? It gave me a sense of not only the polarization of a city, but the polarization of classes. You saw very quickly, working class, even in Evanston, right? You know the old adages, and I want to tick off anybody in these podcasts, but they said Evanston had the blacks, right, and Skokie had the Jews. That's that kind of nomenclature. And then Northwestern was its own bubble in Evanston. So if you could talk about kind of what gave you the passion around this major subject that is so real today, and we're going to talk about today in a few seconds.
It's funny because when I went to college in the early 70s, 74, 75, at Northwestern, man, and there had been the civil rights movements in the late 60s. I tell myself I was born 5 years too late because we enjoyed the residue of those movements. And Northwestern had an agreement with the Black Student Union that half of all black students had to come from inner city schools. And that created a groundswell of race pride. When I was in college, man, 1/3 of the black folks were Greek.
Really?
1/3 were athletes, and 1/3 were in politics.
Wow.
I was in the politics side.
Yeah.
I was a member of the Black Student Union as a junior and a senior in college. And it really emphasized to me the pride and the importance of being black. And that is something that has continued to stay with me through law school. I was active in BALSA, the Black Law School Association at Berkeley Law School. And I continued to take those foundational points and knowledge and build it into a career where I represent black and brown people against institutions of power, which is what I most enjoy.
Yes, sir. So let's go to Bolt School of Law.
Yes.
You make it through Northwestern.
Yes.
You get accepted into UC Berkeley.
Yes.
I want to be clear about that.
Correct.
Now UCLA, UC Berkeley.
Law school.
Law school.
Sure.
Bolt Law School at the time.
Yes.
And at that time, I believe, if my stats show correctly, you're the minority.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did you coalesce?
Well, I tell you, at Bolt in the late 70s, there was an active effort to recruit black and brown students to that law school. We had one of the largest sized black classes in the school. There were 48 that came in, 44 that left.
Wow.
And other than Georgetown, Georgetown, and Harvard, we were probably the largest percentage of black students at the law school then. The times have since changed now with the Bakke decision, other things since then. But there was a great sense of minority pride that we could do every bit as good as the white man did. And Bolt in particular created a student program for black and brown pre-law students to come in 6 weeks before the first day of law school to learn about the process, to get to know each other, and to establish our relationship, which was really foundational for many of the friendships I have even 45 years later today.
Wow. Wow.
It was brilliant for the school. There was a different mindset then. Being black wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing. We wanted to encourage diversity, difference of thoughts and backgrounds and that kind of thing. So that really led to my evolution as a civil rights lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we go from this pivotal place because your skill set is impeccable. I'm not just, that's just facts, right? So you garner all of this stuff from Bolt, and now you're in the workplace, if you will, and things are start. So what catapulted you from this place to being on a OJ Simpson trial? There's a big gap that most people don't know about. Can you talk about that?
Sure. When I was in law school, I got a job to work in the federal government.
Really?
And I got a job the February of my last year, which was a big deal for a brother having a job in February. I was hired under Jimmy Carter, peanut farmer.
Really? Yeah.
And in November of that year, Ronald Reagan was elected. The transition from Jimmy Carter to Ronald Reagan was almost as dramatic as from Barack Obama to Donald Trump. Not quite, but almost.
Yeah.
So the reasons why I went to government, worked to government to help people shifted. Big government was bad under Ronald Reagan. I took a class my last semester of law school in trial practice. I've always liked to talk. And I developed a love for that. And when I was sitting in Washington, D.C., one, it was cold again. What am I doing back in the cold weather? One.
Yes, sir.
But two, I could go my entire day talking on the phone, and that was not what a lawyer was to me in that moment. A lawyer was in court trying cases. Perry Mason, to me, was a lawyer. So I reached back to my college professor, law school professor, who recommended me to the chief at the Federal Public Defender's Office here in Los Angeles.
Really? Okay.
I worked there, so I was about a year in D.C. because of that transition. It took about a year for the policies of Ronald Reagan to filter down to the grunt level where I was.
Right.
So those reasons why I had gone to work for the government were no longer in vogue. I enjoyed being a trial lawyer.
Yeah.
We are modern day gunslingers.
Yeah.
I'm a performer.
Yeah.
So I immediately worked and took a liking to that career.
Really?
In LA, man, Johnny Cochran was the man.
Yeah.
Throughout my entire life.
Wow.
He became as big nationwide after OJ Simpson as he had always been that famous in Los Angeles.
Really?
Always.
Wow.
Because Johnny represented us suing the police when they did us wrong.
Yeah.
Your listeners, unless you grew up in Los Angeles in the 60s or the 70s, even the 80s, can't realize the problems between the black community and police.
Yeah.
You can stop anybody randomly black on the streets of Los Angeles. Anybody at random, brother. And they could tell you a story of themselves, a family member, or a friend who had been treated badly by the police, unfairly by the police.
Yeah.
Johnny was our vanguard and our hero who fought against the police in many high-profile cases.
Wow.
He was my hero.
Yeah.
And after 5 years at the Federal Public Defender's Office, he gave me an interview for a job.
Really?
one of my boys, Kevin McKesson, worked there at the time.
Wow.
And Kevin said, Carl, there's an opening for a bond lawyer. You ought to apply.
Really?
Brother, I knew nothing about bonds.
Yes, I'll say.
But I told Johnny, I want to be a bond lawyer. I'll do bond work.
Yeah.
And he hired me as a lawyer because I think he understood that I could also try a case. And that was good and important in those years. So next to my mother, my relationship with Johnny Cochran is certainly the most important relationship in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, me seeing him, in kind of snippets and then coming to that big realization moment, he was not only iconic, but he was like the equalizer. I hate to use that but that's who he was, and to see you all kind of like on TV, and let me just tell my side of the effect of your work, if you will, because I can remember like it was yesterday. Sure. And it's, whatever anybody think about the results of the verdict, that's their business.
Sure.
I'm dealing with a personal impression.
Sure.
Kid growing up on the south side of Chicago who was used to being harassed by the police. I remember, a side story, I remember coming off of Charles Street, almost namesake street. Coming off, you can't go off Charles unless you run into a cement median or hit somebody. So you have to stop at the stop sign. Cop stopped me, said, "Oh, you didn't stop at the stop sign." I never forget this. I had this old 78 Ford Fairmont. It was so bad that it was Flintstone. You remember, Flintstone? Because I had one foot like this on the side, and the other for the gas, because that's why I had, because it was open space, right? This is the car I'm driving. 19, 20 years old. I had a box of Tide detergent and some Clorox bleach in the back, and they want to search my car for drugs. I'm a college student, on the dean's list, but I'm getting searched for drugs. And what saved me, I was able to talk, calm, talking, smooth.
Sure.
But it was a black sergeant that walked up and said, "Officers, what is the issue here?" "Oh, sir, this is a routine stop." And their whole demeanor changed, right? Because I thought my life was over.
Sure, man.
Because these big burly guys, they was used to just roughing you up.
Sure, man.
And there was no cause. That was just Chicago PD back then. You saw what happened later, right? So I remember seeing this name come over the TV waves, right? And I'm like, man, if we had somebody like that here, life would be completely different. And it's not, I'm grateful way life turned out for me, but then that was hard living, if you will, with the aspirations of coming to some place of civility, right?
Sure.
I remember the second part of that story is I'm flying to a CME conference, a convocation, and I'm on a flight. I can't remember the airline. And all I remember is that we've been watching this trial all these days. And this plane was filled back then, with majority white, but few of us could afford a flight back then. And we're landing, I believe, in Memphis, and it was turbulence. I never forget it like it was yesterday. And the pilot comes on the airways. "I want to interrupt this flight. We're not landing yet, but I have some news for you." So he's like, "Oh, what's going on? Is something's wrong with the flight?" The verdict is in. And it's just, you heard a hush over the flight. And it goes like this: OJ Simpson, not guilty. And you can hear the popcorn crackles. Yay! And then you heard the other side. and all of these, explicitives and known tongues.
Sure.
And then the flight after that moment, because it was another 45 minutes, went still. Nobody looked at anyone.
Tense.
It got tense, and people filed off of the airplane, and it literally felt like it changed the course of history. And I was like, I don't know what it was, but for that moment, I felt seen. I know that's the new age language, but back then, as a young black man, I felt seen, and I felt like this was not going to be the typical verdict anymore. And it gave us an unyielding amount of hope.
Sure.
So I just want to give you your flowers.
Thank you, brother.
And say thank you. We never knew each other back
Sure,
then.
sure.
But that's the kind of impact that you had literally on the world.
It's amazing, brother, how television validates someone. And being on television is so very important. To this day, and it's been 30 years since the verdict, to this day, African cab drivers recognize me.
Wow.
Because the trial was shown on CNN International. And in Africa, seeing a black lawyer was so striking to them.
Yeah.
The fact that excellence comes in all colors, I hope, is the lesson that everyone will take from the OJ Simpson process. I used to turn down the chance to sign an autograph. I didn't know, man, when I was in trial every day in Los Angeles, the barbershops, the beauty shops, the liquor stores had this on from 10 until noon, from 1:30 to 4 every day. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was at the Fox Hills Mall with my son on a Sunday, and somebody said, "Hey, he's that lawyer," and they wanted an autograph. I was kind of, what you talking about, man? Kind of get around. And then I realized he wants my autograph because I'm a lawyer. I got a jump shop. That ain't the reason.
Yeah.
I could rap, but that ain't the reason.
Right.
Because I'm a lawyer.
Right.
And that is so important and so valuable for we as black people that I embraced every chance that I could do that. I was in last summer watching a play in New York on Broadway, and at halftime somebody came up to me and asked me to sign their playbill.
Wow.
30 years later.
Wow.
That shows how important images are. And shows like yours, which have images of strong black leaders talking about leverage, are so very important for people, because it is amazing that the memory of Johnny Cochran is lost on many of our Gen Xers or Gen Zers.
Yeah.
I make sure whenever I speak to law students to talk about Johnny and to uplift his memory. It's so very important that not be lost.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just the icon, first of all, the icon that he is, and I say is because he's with the ancestors, so he lives on.
For sure,
It's not was, it's is.
For sure.
The business he became, because a lot of people don't equate that African Americans can lead an effective and successful business.
Sure.
It's always, for lack of a term, it's the hookup, or it gets shut down because we don't have enough patronage.
Sure.
But for him to have the conglomerate that he had at the time that he had was like, amazing and like next level setting.
And one thing he always stressed with us, I was there for 13 years before opening my own office.
Right.
He said, you can do good and do well at the same time.
Yes.
My brother had a home in Los Feliz before it was popular.
Yeah.
He drove a Rolls Royce in the 70s.
Yeah.
When we was just about Mercedes was the thing.
Right.
But he was driving, he'd roll a Rolls Royce all the time.
Yeah.
So you could do well and do good at the same time.
Yeah.
That's something I embrace even to this day.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. I want to talk about the fact that we come back to that experience.
Yeah.
But you hit on something. You left and you created your own law firm.
Yes.
Tell us about that, because that's like amazing. I saw your team and staff, and I was just like blown away to see the levels that you have created.
If I would have had it my way, I would have stayed with Johnny Cochran my entire life.
Wow.
But he was part of a different world as a criminal lawyer. You hire a criminal lawyer because you want him to save you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You don't plan to get injured. You don't plan to get fired. Okay. You don't plan to get arrested. But if you're arrested, you want someone who's going to save me and my liberty. And out of his mindset, it's the Johnny L. Cochran. That's the office. I wanted to be part of a team. I thought I was bad too.
Right.
Okay?
You are.
And thank you, I thought I was. And so after being there 13 years after the OJ Simpson experience, I decided to go off on my own to start my own thing. Johnny was spending time then in New York, where he also had a TV show. He was a big TV celebrity. And I wanted to cast my own shadow for myself. And I went out on faith. It is probably the natural reaction for plaintiff trial lawyers. We are gunslingers.
Right.
To be a plaintiff, you don't make money unless you win. So it takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of heart and a lot of hustle to succeed. So I'm proud that I've been able to successfully run a firm here in Los Angeles that is African American based, that most of my clients look like me and you and everyone in this room. And I've been able to do that for the last 27 years.
Wow.
If I don't win, I don't make money.
Right.
And I don't win all the time.
Yeah, but you win.
Hopefully I win enough for knock on wood.
Yeah, right.
So, but the lessons that I learned working with Johnny Cochran has formed the ideals I take even today in my own practice.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
So I see you have a partner. I can tell the dynamics. He's more of a mentee. He's a phenom in his own right.
Sure.
But he's more of a mentee of yours. Then there's other individuals that work, and I know you have people that help you be successful.
Yes.
What does that look like for you today as a leader? Like, you can really just say, you know what, I'm good, I've done enough, but you keep at the fire. What keeps that burning?
Two reasons. One of my boys, who I love, a lawyer, gave me a line. I'm big on lines and sayings. And about 10 years ago, he told me, brother, retirement is a concept for employees. That was an epiphany, man.
Like, wait, I'm sorry.
Retirement is a concept for employees. I run a firm.
Yeah.
I like running stuff.
Yes.
I'm in charge.
Yes.
When I say jump, everyone says, how high, Mr. Douglas?
Yeah, yes.
Conceptually.
Yeah.
What I do, I'm good at. I am blessed to have been named the Trial Lawyer of the Year 5 different times.
Wow.
I'm blessed that I'm in the White Hall of Fame and the Black Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So what I do well, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Bruh, I'm a gunslinger.
Yes, sir.
I tell people Kobe Bryant is the Carl Douglas of basketball.
Yes, sir.
In terms of competitiveness.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Every day I fight cops. And there's nothing harder than fighting cops.
Yeah.
Because most of America believes cops. But I enjoy it. I'm good at it. And I've been able to succeed despite, setbacks. And disappointments.
Yes,
and
sir.
even failures. I tell young lawyers all the time, no one who is successful has not endured failures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just disappointments.
Yeah,
but
that's
failures. And the challenge is how you can recover, and that you can recover from abject failure.
Yeah.
So I have been lucky and fortunate and grounded so I can continue to make the lives better for other people.
Yeah.
If you can make somebody else's life better, brother, you're doing God's work, I think.
Yeah, you are.
And so I try spending my life making people's lives better.
Yeah, that's amazing. I got to remember that line, because I'm always trying to level up, and you just gave me a whole nother purpose to life. So my goal is to live to be 100 years old.
Bet.
That's what I believe.
Bet.
Right. My parents didn't do that, but I'm going to. That's my goal. And one of the books I read, this book, he's by one of our brothers. I can't think of the name of it, but the concept around it is that basically retirement is a farce. He's like, you don't retire. He's like, you don't retire to retire. You retire to do something. you know, and so the whole concept is like retirement is for employees. That's just a bar. I got to I'm going to quote that today on social media. I'm going to give you credit, but I'm just saying that's a bar. That's pivotal, because once you start to redefine purpose, it never runs out.
Surely.
You know,
surely.
That your last breath is ladled with purpose.
For sure.
Because it's not tied to an event.
Somebody else. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Or somebody else.
Correct.
Yeah. So you just made my mind have a whole, you know, mindgasm. You know?
Same time, brother.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Yeah. I could tell it.
I'm a performer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People recognize me.
Yeah.
I'm on TV once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not all the time, actually.
Well, okay. So
Yeah.
I love my life. I believe the brain is a muscle. You got to keep it exercised.
Yeah.
To keep it fit.
Yes, sir.
When you, it is so cliche, but when you love what you do, you ain't working at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I was working last night because I got a big deposition coming up of a lying cop.
Yeah.
Who killed a brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I got purpose.
Yeah.
And I like kicking a dirty cop's tail.
Yeah, yeah. You can say how you felt today. I felt it coming.
Yeah. Bishop, I'm cleaning it up for you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
This podcast, this is a safe space.
There you go. Okay. Better.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. But no, that's rich. That's so rich, because you know, you give us kind of an entree of how to really live.
Sure.
You know, that if you're living to the fullest, you can have that sense of confidence and security.
That end, I get criticized for saying all the time, but money is a means, not an end.
No, it's not.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's cotton candy. Okay? It gives you a rush, but there's no substance, I say.
So this is, let's talk about those. You just came through one of the largest protest verdict wins in LA County.
Yes.
At a time when nobody was paying attention.
Yes.
If I know a lot of the nuances you can't talk about because of, you know, client attorney privilege and the parts of the case that is concealed, but share with us what that was like and how did you all come to such a glorious end.
Let me tell you about the case. I represented for the first time in a police trial a white family.
What?
Okay. My client's name is Cellin, Cellin Gluck, and he and his two kids were going to protest for the first time ever, George Floyd, and he didn't want them to go, but he said, I'd go along. He's a member of the Directors Guild of America, so he brought his camera to record history. He was on Beverly near Fairfax when he got struck in the nose with a rubber bullet.
Wow.
6 weeks later, they were pulling shrapnel out of his nose. His daughter watched as it happened.
Wow.
I had never had a white family who was injured by police, and I wanted to test the model. Because if there's no humanity, cops don't feel for you, I think.
Right.
When there's no humanity, jurors don't feel for you, I think.
Right.
And all too often, jurors think that, you know, it's them, not us. George Floyd protests were different because for the first time, white folks were out there protesting as well. They were protesting in France, in Paris, France, all over the world. The death of this one black man in Minneapolis.
Right.
And to see the dynamics when the people on trial looked like the jurors in the jury box was unique and different.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
It was unique and different, and so it was an experience. We were in trial for 6 weeks last August. The jury returned a verdict of $3.8 million, which was then the largest verdict in a protest case in LA County history. If you ask Mr. Gluck, he'd rather have his life back. He suffered a traumatic brain injury. He has eye problems. His life will never be the same.
Yeah.
So I can rejoice in the victory as a lawyer. My client who lives with it is still suffering to this day.
Yeah. That's a major dichotomy.
It is indeed.
You know, because on one hand, you have to feel a sense of pride that justice was served. But the opposite side of it is you're asking the question, is justice really served?
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end, you know, it's funny because in 45 years of trying cases, and I've been blessed to have the best cases. They mistook some keys for a gun. They mistook a Bible for a gun. They shot the brother in the back, for example. Clear kinds of cases that I've been lucky enough to work on. I had never had a jury say 12-0, we believe this injury was wrongful in a trial.
Yeah.
You need 9 out of 12 in state court for a verdict. So it's always 9 or 10. Are you going to get to 9? But in terms of the jury finding that their versions were believable, and it was 12-0 for the daughter, 11-1 for Mr. Gluck. I wish it wasn't, but I have to think race had some role in just. Because all my cases, I think, are good. I tell people, whenever I lose, bruh, I'm the most surprised sucker in the courtroom.
Right.
so
Yes,
I always think I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But it really shows, man, and I tell young lawyers all the time, you ignore race to your peril. I wish race didn't matter. I wish I didn't have to think about, do I want a white witness as an expert or a black expert who I might like to best connect with my jury. But as a storyteller, I've got to do what I think is the best way to communicate the story. And race in LA, probably still in America, still matters.
So you see yourself, and I think this is super critical. You see yourself as a storyteller.
Oh, brother. What I do is tell a story, and I'm a salesman. I am selling this man's circumstance or this woman's circumstance, and I need you to feel their pain. What I do best is convey the emotional trauma that they have experienced to strangers. I tell people, if I'm talking science, I'm losing. If I'm talking medicine, I'm losing. I'm talking feelings and pain and life changes that can be felt viscerally. And that has really been what is best for me over the course of my 45 years. But all trial lawyers should be storytellers, talking to 8th graders. All speakers should be storytellers, speaking to 14-year-olds, because that's the greatest level of communication when you talk on an 8th grade level.
And most people read at the 3rd grade level.
Okay.
So if you're talking at the 8th grade level, that's your best place of fluidity
for sure
around communication.
And you as a public speaker know that. You know, whatever you say doesn't matter if it can't connect to your listener.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I was sharing in another setting is that you got to have logos, pathos, and ethos. And logos is the written fact or the written word by the Greek standards. But pathos is ethos. Pathos is the emotion and the feeling. You know, being able to paint the picture of what this guy is experiencing. You know, that he can't hold his head up because the pain that throbs from his nose that's connected to his throat is causing asphyxiation. You know, that's painting a picture.
Brother, what we do is very much alike. In fact, my entire career, people have likened me like a preacher.
Really?
Oh, my entire career, particularly white folks. And probably so because I've always been a fan of oratory. And the spoken word. Because I was always short as a young kid, I had to speak to get out of stuff, you know, and I always got into stuff, speaking to get into stuff, speaking to get out of stuff. So it's always been so important to communicate well.
And believe it or not, you know, I can relate to that because most people don't know this, but I guess the first time I say this publicly, it was one summer I grew 6 inches, right? But prior to that, the majority of my adolescence growing up, I was short, you know, so I had to learn how to use other modalities and means, especially on the south side of Chicago, to not be bullied.
Correct.
Right.
Sure.
So if you ain't know how to fight, you have to learn how to
Talk.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
So or do both.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it wasn't until like once somebody grew and everybody's like, oh, is
Leave
that?
them alone now.
Yeah, leave them
for
alone.
sure.
But that was my. So I still operate that way, which it makes it an anomaly because it teaches you how to think through scenarios before you react to
Sure,
them.
absolutely.
You know, that's huge. Let's talk about those you mentored. Just a little bit, like, you know, what is the nuance? I know they can see you in action. They can learn your style and your tactics, but what are some things that you just like, you know what, this is what you need if you're going to be effective or successful?
It's funny, man. I always think of myself as a level 5 leader.
Yes.
I'm trying to continue a legacy when I'm no longer there. And that is done by being willing to share your knowledge with others so that they continue that. I'm glad that you recognize the work I've done with Jamon Hicks, who's my partner.
Yeah.
He's a 20-year lawyer. He started as a second-year law student with me. And though he left to see other worlds and see other firms, he came back because he realized that there's a future and a legacy. I tell people, I don't train you to be mediocre.
Love it.
I'm looking for excellence.
Yes. Love it.
And excellence takes time, hard work, and effort. I sound like an old fogey talking about young folks want all the fame but don't want to do the work. And I tell folks, when somebody gets over on a lark, it's news because it's newsworthy.
Right.
You don't see those folks that are grinding every day to make ends meet. And it takes that sort of commitment for excellence. Everybody playing football ain't good. Everybody playing football who on the football team ain't Pro Bowl.
Right.
You know,
Right.
All-American.
Right.
It takes that certain special level of commitment if you want to excel. And the challenge, because of social media, is so many people think you can get over by doing it the easy way. You know, because there are examples of people getting over on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or Instagram. Without talent.
With talent. Yeah.
Without talent. You know what I'm saying? So I always, and I do admit, I sound like an old 70-year-old man that I am. Okay.
No, you're not.
You gotta put in the work to have success because you can't rely on the easy way to get over.
Right.
I don't think.
Right. Absolutely. You know, the old adage says it like this: success comes. Work becomes before success, only in the dictionary, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the reality. You got to put the work in, and I think you're right. Social media has ruined a lot of minds because people see these highlight reels,
Correct.
or these fictitious captions,
Correct.
of what they believe people's lives are, and they're not. There's so many individuals I know, friends that have countless. I remember one friend of mine would say, "Look, you know, I'd rather have what's in your phone book than what I have on followers." He's like, "Because those followers might look like good in vanity, but who you can call makes the difference." And I used to say, you know, I try to downplay it, but to the point is that comes with consistency and work. So I just wanted to pick up and shift our conversation a little bit. Because we've talked about literally your impact and the legacy that you're leaving. But there's stuff that's happening literally around us. Some of it's very scary for some, and others is enraging. In particular, because you touched on it in this context. First time you represented a white family. Now we see in recent news in the great state of Minnesota, that Good, Alex Preddy, there's a brother that was killed right in Los Angeles that hasn't been talked about. So let's talk about these current affairs and what you think, because we know all kinds of systems have broke down in ways that we haven't seen in recent years.
Sure. Minnesota and ICE needs to be put in the proper context. And you have to understand, Bishop, that every state has a system for law enforcement that's called POST, Peace Officers Standards and Training.
Yes.
That's a program it's in all 50 states to teach cops how to be cops. It's tough being a cop. It's harder being a good cop. Those programs last 6 months to deal with stress, to deal with when to shoot, when to use force, because there's all kinds of personality things that go into that. ICE has a training program. Their training program lasts 42 days.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
Yeah.
42 days of
Yeah.
training, and they were trained for immigration, not for dealing with people in protests or people that are angry or people that are taking their pictures. There are all kinds of policies and laws that prevent officers from shooting at moving vehicles. You're supposed to get out the way. You're supposed to never shoot at a moving car unless there's reasons other than the car itself for using deadly force. When you have the shooting in Minneapolis of Renee Good, he fires once through the windshield, but 2 times through the open driver's door window when there's no deadly threat then. And to hear officials not even want to investigate his conduct emboldens these officers that know they can do things with impunity, that they're not going to be second guessed. Mr. Preddy, the guy that was just shot about, they removed the gun from him and the threat should have been eliminated. But then everyone steps back and they start shooting. They shoot while he's on the ground, clearly not a threat. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Clearly, that shooting is unreasonable and excessive. And so it's going to be important to see what happens, but it's not going to be the last time. ICE are in Detroit, in Chicago, in other cities, Oakland. And there are going to be continuing circumstances because people are going to be blowing whistles when they see them. They're going in unmarked cars, so people are following them around. They'll stop at Home Depot and just harass people that are standing there. There are going to be other circumstances of tension because they're at their hotel rooms at night trying to keep them awake. Everything they do, they're being cussed and vilified, which puts everyone on edge. I've had cases where even trained officers will say, even in our training, we never dealt with the circumstance of this protest during George Floyd. Similarly, with hundreds of people protesting peacefully, they've never dealt with that circumstance over the course of their 42 days of training. It's a powder keg. It's going to continue to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, this is, I'm glad you gave us this insight because the training portion, 4 to 6 months versus 42 days, it should be eye-opening to everybody who sees this.
And even when you have 6 months of training, man, shootings happen in a second. Boom, 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 real quick. Okay? Even when you're trained to be confronted with that circumstance, because most shootings happen because somebody's scared. A white person is scared of a gang-looking brother with tattoos. Okay, everyone is scared if someone has a gun, though they talk about being proponents of the Second Amendment. But you have a gun, you're automatically a threat. You can't walk around. The Supreme Court says these carry laws are illegal. So everyone should be allowed to carry guns. You can't have it both ways.
You're absolutely right. You pulled on so many memories. I was prior when I was in Evanston. I was a police chaplain, and one of the trainings to do the ride-alongs was that you had to go through the shoot and don't shoot training. And most of us on first through the 5th times failed the training. Because you don't know when to shoot. There'll be a little lady walking with a cat, and somebody come from behind. And it might be a child. It might not be the assailant that you think it is. So to your point, when it's only 42 days, not only are they ill-equipped, but incapable of handling the kind of pressures that they are facing. Let
Absolutely.
me move again.
Sure.
I see one other issue, but I want to be respectful of our time. So I want to go through these rapid questions. It's 30 seconds of energy, so you can answer the best way. So one word that best describes your approach to justice.
Fairness.
Fairness. Wow. That's huge.
Fairness is justice.
Yeah.
And if it's not fair,
It's not.
and there's nothing there, and what is one's concept of fairness might differ between you and the man across the street, but justice is where it all comes from. And we have to have that same kind of similarity. What is fair, so we can all be just.
Yes, sir. All right, here's another one. What is the most understood role as a trial attorney?
The most understood or misunderstood?
Misunderstood.
The most misunderstood part of being a trial attorney is that people don't understand how much stress and work it takes to do well. You spend 9 hours in the office for every 1 hour in court.
Wow.
The greatest fear of a person is public speaking. And speaking to strangers is a frightening experience. I am nervous every time I start my trial for the first time, and I've done it more than 100 times.
Wow.
But it energizes me, and I'm able to take that energy and put it into a positive.
All right.
Everybody can't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's amazing because I didn't know that. So it gives me greater. A book every young attorney should read.
I give a book, Dale, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it gives you fundamental rules and lessons about life. And there's three I always talk about. One, always remember a person's name. Because the most important word to you, I know, is Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Terrell. Always learn a person's name. Two, people crave appreciation.
Yeah. Yeah.
They crave it.
Yeah. That's true.
So I try to catch people doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When they're doing something right, we have a text chain. Hey, great job on whatever you did, because people crave appreciation.
Yeah.
And I have to learn to smile more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's disarming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my passion is often misinterpreted as anger. So I have to learn the importance of smiling, not cheesing.
Yeah. Smiling.
But
Yeah.
smiling to put people at ease so that
Yeah.
you can engage and have them listen to you. Because if they don't feel you, they're not going to listen to you.
Yes, sir. That's good.
Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie.
Dale
Yeah.
Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes, sir. Heard of that book. This is the last question I'm going to ask. When pressure is high, what grounds you?
Brother, pressure makes diamonds and builds and bursts pipes. Some people shrivel and some people shine. And you don't know it until you're there. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And it takes time to learn how to handle it. And you gotta go through the downs to appreciate the highs.
Yeah.
You got to experience the lows to recognize the successes, I think. It ain't always easy.
No, it's not.
And hard work, I believe, is rewarded.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for this amazing experience with the incomparable Carl Douglas. I'm telling you all, tell everybody, share this link to this podcast. We're doing this really altruistic, but we want you to make sure you learn from the greats of our time while we have these amazing moments. I am your host, Dr. Charley Hames Jr. This is the Leverage Podcast. We encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you see Dr. Charley Hames' name, I want you to follow. God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The Leverage Factor. Peace.